Age-related anabolic resistance represents a fundamental shift in how your muscles respond to protein intake after age 60, creating one of the most significant barriers to maintaining muscle mass as you age. This physiological phenomenon occurs when muscle tissue becomes progressively less sensitive to the amino acid signals that normally trigger muscle protein synthesis, the process by which your body builds and repairs muscle fibers. The quantitative impact of this resistance is substantial and measurable. While younger adults can effectively stimulate muscle protein synthesis with approximately 15 to 20 grams of high quality protein per meal, adults over 60 typically require 25 to 40 grams of protein to achieve the same anabolic response. This represents a 25 to 100% increase in protein requirements, fundamentally changing the nutritional equation for muscle maintenance. Research demonstrates that older adults specifically need at least 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, the key amino acid that acts as a molecular trigger for muscle building, to reliably activate the muscle protein synthesis machinery. At the cellular level, several interconnected mechanisms drive this resistance. The mTOR pathway, which serves as the master switch for muscle growth, becomes less responsive to leucine stimulation in aging muscle tissue. Additionally, amino acid transport into muscle cells becomes less efficient, meaning that even when adequate protein is consumed, less reaches the cellular machinery where muscle building occurs. Hormonal changes compound these effects as growth hormone, insulin like growth factor 1, and sex hormones naturally decline with age, reducing the overall anabolic environment. Chronic low grade inflammation, common in older adults, further interferes with normal protein synthesis pathways by disrupting cellular signaling cascades. The functional consequences extend far beyond aesthetics, directly contributing to sarcopenia and the progressive loss of strength, balance, and mobility that threatens independence. Understanding anabolic resistance reframes muscle loss from an inevitable consequence of aging to a manageable condition requiring strategic nutritional intervention. Sleep represents far more than passive rest. It constitutes the most powerful regenerative period in your daily cycle, creating a unique physiological window that can either accelerate muscle loss or become your most effective tool for muscle rebuilding. During the deepest stages of non-REM sleep, your body experiences dramatic surges in growth hormone secretion, beginning approximately 60 to 90 minutes after sleep onset and continuing in pulsatile waves throughout the night. This anabolic hormone orchestrates multiple critical functions. It mobilizes fatty acids for energy while sparing protein for muscle repair, stimulates cellular regeneration processes, and creates the optimal hormonal environment for muscle protein synthesis to exceed muscle protein breakdown. However, this regenerative opportunity exists alongside a significant metabolic challenge that creates what researchers call the overnight paradox. Sleep typically spans 6 to 8 hours, making it the longest natural fasting period in your daily cycle. As this extended fast progresses, circulating amino acid levels steadily decline, forcing your body into a critical metabolic decision point. Without available dietary amino acids, your muscles become a primary source for essential amino acids needed for vital metabolic processes, including glucose production through gluconeogenesis and synthesis of critical proteins throughout your body. Research using advanced stable isotope methodology demonstrates that this overnight period can increase muscle protein synthesis rates by 2 to 37% when slow digesting proteins are strategically consumed before sleep. The timing aligns perfectly with natural circadian biology. Core body temperature drops during sleep, slowing gastric emptying and favoring sustained amino acid release from gel-forming proteins like casein. For adults over 60, this window becomes even more crucial because age-related changes in sleep architecture often compress deep sleep phases, reducing the natural growth hormone release window, while anabolic resistance demands stronger, more sustained amino acid signals to activate muscle building machinery. The slow digesting protein strategy represents the most scientifically validated approach to transforming your overnight sleep period from a muscle wasting fast into a powerful muscle building window. This strategy fundamentally revolves around the unique digestive properties of casein protein, which creates a sustained amino acid delivery system that perfectly aligns with your body's natural sleep and recovery cycles. For adults over 60 facing anabolic resistance, this approach provides the prolonged nutritional signal necessary to overcome the elevated threshold required for muscle protein synthesis activation. When you consume casein protein, a remarkable transformation occurs in your stomach that distinguishes it from all other protein sources. Upon contact with stomach acid, casein molecules undergo coagulation, forming a semi solid gel or clot that can actually be visualized using magnetic resonance imaging. This gel formation creates a physical barrier that dramatically slows gastric emptying, transforming your stomach into a natural time release capsule. While fast digesting proteins like whey pass through the stomach within 30 to 60 minutes, creating a rapid but short lived amino acid spike, the casein gel persists for hours, gradually releasing amino acids as digestive enzymes slowly break down its structure. This sustained release mechanism maintains elevated blood amino acid concentrations for 6 to 8 hours, precisely matching the duration of a typical night's sleep. Peak amino acid levels occur 3 to 4 hours after consumption, coinciding perfectly with the deep sleep phases when growth hormone secretion reaches its highest levels. This timing synchronization creates an optimal anabolic environment where hormonal signals for muscle growth align with the sustained availability of amino acid building blocks. Clinical research using advanced stable isotope tracer methodology demonstrates the profound impact of this strategy on overnight muscle metabolism. When adults over 60 consume casein protein before sleep, muscle protein synthesis rates increase by 22% compared to placebo conditions, while muscle protein breakdown simultaneously decreases by 30%. This creates a net positive protein balance throughout the night, effectively reversing the typical overnight shift toward muscle catabolism that occurs during extended fasting periods. The sustained amino acid availability, particularly leucine concentrations maintained above the anabolic threshold for extended periods, ensures continuous activation of the mTOR pathway, the master regulator of muscle growth. For older adults whose muscles require stronger and more prolonged leucine signals to overcome anabolic resistance, this extended activation window becomes crucial for achieving meaningful muscle protein synthesis rates. The most effective dosing strategy involves consuming 25 to 35 grams of casein protein before bed, which delivers approximately 2.5 to 3.5 grams of leucine, the critical threshold needed to reliably trigger muscle protein synthesis in older adults. Research indicates that 30 to 35 grams represents the optimal range, providing sufficient amino acids for sustained overnight synthesis without causing digestive discomfort or sleep disruption. Higher doses, up to 40 grams, have been studied safely and may provide additional benefits for individuals with higher body mass or those engaged in intensive resistance training. The leucine content becomes particularly important because this branched chain amino acid serves as the primary molecular trigger for muscle growth. While younger individuals may achieve adequate muscle protein synthesis with 2 to 2.5 grams of leucine, adults over 60 typically require 2.5 to 3.5 grams to overcome anabolic resistance and achieve comparable muscle building responses. 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese provides 26 to 28 grams of primarily casein protein. To reach optimal dosing, add 2 to 3 tablespoons of non-fat dry milk powder, which contributes an additional 6 to 9 grams of casein protein, bringing the total to 32 to 37 grams. This combination can be enhanced with cinnamon for flavor and a small handful of berries for antioxidants without significantly impacting the protein profile. Choose plain, thick Greek yogurt that provides approximately 20 to 25 grams of protein per cup. The straining process concentrates casein content while removing much of the whey. Enhance the protein content by stirring in 1 to 2 tablespoons of casein protein powder or non-fat dry milk to reach the 30 to 35 gram target. Add chopped almonds or a small amount of nut butter to provide healthy fats that further slow gastric emptying. For precise dosing and convenience, micellar casein protein powder offers the most concentrated and consistent option. Mix 1 scoop, typically 25 to 30 grams, with 8 to 12 ounces of water or unsweetened almond milk. The powder form allows for exact leucine targeting and can be customized with small amounts of healthy fats like almond butter to enhance the sustained release profile. For individuals with lactose intolerance or dairy sensitivities, soy protein isolate provides the closest functional substitute to casein. Use 30 to 35 grams of soy protein isolate and consider adding 2 to 3 grams of supplemental leucine to ensure adequate anabolic signaling. Mixing with fiber sources like ground flaxseed or chia seeds can help slow absorption and mimic casein's sustained release properties. Pea and rice protein blends can also be effective when combined with healthy fats, though slightly higher doses may be needed due to lower essential amino acid density. Consume your chosen slow digesting protein source 30 to 60 minutes before your intended bedtime. This timing allows initial digestion to begin while ensuring the sustained release mechanism activates as you enter deeper sleep phases. Individuals with gastroesophageal reflux should extend this window to 60 to 90 minutes and favor thicker, more solid options like cottage cheese over liquid shakes to minimize the risk of reflux during sleep. For those concerned about nighttime urination, minimize liquid volume by choosing concentrated options like thick Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, rather than large protein shakes. Keep additional ingredients minimal and avoid high sugar content that might cause blood glucose fluctuations or digestive discomfort that could disrupt sleep quality. The goal is to provide sustained nutrition without compromising the restorative sleep that's essential for the muscle building process itself. The strategic implementation of nighttime protein consumption requires precise timing, coordination with your body's natural physiological rhythms, and careful selection of protein sources that deliver sustained amino acid release throughout your sleep cycle. This approach transforms the typical overnight fasting period from a muscle wasting window into your most powerful daily opportunity for muscle rebuilding and repair. The optimal consumption window of 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime represents more than simple convenience. It aligns with critical physiological processes that determine the effectiveness of your overnight muscle building strategy. During this pre-sleep period, your core body temperature naturally begins its circadian decline, which enhances the gel-forming properties of casein proteins and slows gastric emptying rates. This temperature-dependent effect ensures that proteins consumed within this window maintain optimal sustained release characteristics throughout the night. The timing allows initial gastric processing to begin while you remain upright and awake, facilitating proper stomach acid interaction with casein proteins to form the crucial gel matrix that controls amino acid release. By the time you transition into deeper sleep phases, when growth hormone secretion peaks and muscle protein synthesis reaches maximum activity, the sustained release mechanism is fully activated and delivering steady amino acid streams to your muscles. For individuals with gastroesophageal reflux disease or those prone to nighttime heartburn, extending this window to 60 to 90 minutes becomes essential while favoring thicker, more solid protein sources over liquid preparations. The additional time allows stomach acid levels to normalize and reduces reflux risk during sleep, while solid foods provide natural protection against regurgitation. Low-fat cottage cheese represents the gold standard for overnight protein consumption, providing 26 to 28 grams of primarily casein protein per cup, 225 grams by weight. To optimize amino acid delivery and reach the target range of 30 to 35 grams total protein, incorporate 2 to 3 tablespoons of non-fat dry milk powder, which adds concentrated casein and increases total protein content to 32 to 37 grams. This combination delivers approximately 3.2 to 3.7 grams of leucine, well above the threshold needed to overcome anabolic resistance in adults over 60. Enhance palatability without compromising the protein profile by adding cinnamon for its anti-inflammatory properties, vanilla extract for flavor, or a small handful of antioxidant-rich berries. Keep additional ingredients minimal to avoid sugar spikes that might disrupt sleep or cause digestive discomfort. Select thick, plain Greek yogurt that provides 20 to 25 grams of protein per cup, 245 grams by weight, with the straining process concentrating casein content while removing much of the fast digesting whey fraction. To reach optimal protein targets of 30 to 35 grams, incorporate 1 to 2 tablespoons of casein protein powder or additional non-fat dry milk powder, which seamlessly blends into the yogurt's texture. Adding measured amounts of chopped almonds or exactly 1 tablespoon of natural almond butter provides healthy monounsaturated fats that further slow gastric emptying while contributing an additional 4 to 8 grams of protein. This combination enhances the sustained release effect while improving satiety and flavor satisfaction. Micellar casein protein powder offers the most precise and consistent dosing option, with one level scoop typically providing 25 to 30 grams of pure casein protein. Mix with 8 to 12 ounces of water, unsweetened almond milk, or low-fat milk to create optimal consistency. The powder form allows for exact leucine targeting and can be customized with small measured amounts of healthy fats like natural nut butter to enhance the sustained release profile. Choose micellar casein over generic caseinate blends, as micellar casein retains the native protein structure that forms the optimal gel matrix in your stomach for sustained amino acid release. For individuals with lactose intolerance or dairy sensitivities, soy protein isolate provides the most functionally similar alternative to casein. Use 30 to 35 grams of soy protein isolate and consider supplementing with 2 to 3 grams of additional leucine to ensure adequate anabolic signaling, as plant proteins typically contain lower leucine concentrations than dairy proteins. Enhance the sustained release properties by mixing with fiber-rich additions like 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed or chia seeds, which help slow absorption and mimic casein's natural time-release characteristics. Pea and rice protein blends can be effective when used at slightly higher doses, 35 to 40 grams, and combined with healthy fats. Individuals following ketogenic or low carbohydrate eating patterns can optimize their choices by selecting full fat cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, which provide additional healthy fats while maintaining desired protein content. Adding measured amounts of nuts, seeds, or sugar-free nut butters enhances satiety and further slows gastric emptying without significantly impacting carbohydrate intake. For those managing diabetes or blood sugar concerns, choose unsweetened protein bases and keep total carbohydrates around 10 to 15 grams per serving. This modest carbohydrate content can actually aid sleep onset without causing significant glycemic fluctuations. Monitor your individual blood glucose response and adjust portions accordingly. Accurate portion measurement ensures consistent protein delivery and optimal results. Use a kitchen scale when possible. 1 cup of cottage cheese equals approximately 225 grams, while Greek yogurt servings should measure 245 grams per cup. When using protein powders, level scoops provide more accurate dosing than heaped measurements, and weighing powder ensures precision. Maximize convenience through strategic meal preparation. Pre-portioned cottage cheese containers can be prepared with dry milk powder already incorporated and stored in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. Greek yogurt parfaits can be assembled in advance with protein powder and nuts already mixed in. For protein shake preparations, pre-measure powder into shaker bottles, allowing for quick liquid addition during your pre-sleep routine. If nighttime urination is frequent, favor thicker options like cottage cheese or Greek yogurt over large volume protein shakes. Finish consumption at least 60 minutes before lying down to allow initial fluid processing. Individuals with sensitive stomachs should start with smaller portions, 20 to 25 grams protein, and gradually increase to optimal levels over 1 to 2 weeks. Choose room temperature or slightly cool foods rather than very cold options that might cause digestive shock. Beyond timing adjustments, avoid mint, citrus, chocolate, or high-fat additions close to bedtime. Keep the head of your bed slightly elevated and remain upright for the full 60 to 90 minutes after. Use natural flavor enhancers like cinnamon, vanilla extract, or small amounts of stevia. Avoid artificial sweeteners if they disrupt your sleep, and skip any caffeine-containing additions. The goal remains a low-volume, nutrient-dense protein source that supports overnight muscle building without compromising the restorative sleep, essential for the muscle building process itself. The overnight protein strategy represents just one critical component of a comprehensive muscle building system that must integrate seamlessly with your entire daily routine to overcome age related anabolic resistance effectively. This holistic approach recognizes that muscle building after 60 requires strategic coordination across multiple domains: nutrition timing throughout the day, resistance training stimulus, targeted supplementation, sleep optimization, and careful adaptation for individual health conditions. When these elements work synergistically, they create a powerful framework that can reverse muscle loss and build meaningful strength and mass. Your nighttime casein consumption achieves maximum effectiveness when supported by strategic protein distribution throughout your waking hours. Research specifically targeting adults over 60 indicates optimal results with total daily protein intake of 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight, distributed evenly across 3 to 4 meals. Each meal should deliver 25 to 35 grams of high quality protein containing at least 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine to reliably overcome anabolic resistance and trigger muscle protein synthesis. This even distribution prevents the common pattern of inadequate morning and midday protein intake, followed by excessive evening consumption, which fails to maintain elevated muscle protein synthesis rates throughout the day. Your breakfast becomes particularly crucial as it breaks the overnight fast and signals your muscles to shift from the catabolic state back into anabolic mode. A protein rich breakfast containing 25 to 30 grams of complete protein sets the foundation for sustained muscle building throughout the day. The timing between your evening meal and bedtime protein requires careful coordination. Maintain 3 to 4 hours between dinner and your pre-sleep protein source to prevent digestive interference, while ensuring that amino acids from your evening meal transition smoothly into your overnight feeding strategy. This creates a seamless 24-hour amino acid supply that keeps your muscles in a consistently positive protein balance. Resistance training provides the essential mechanical stimulus that signals your muscles to utilize the amino acids you provide through your nutrition protocol. For adults over 60, the optimal approach involves 2 to 3 training sessions per week, targeting all major muscle groups with 8 to 12 challenging sets per muscle group weekly. This volume represents the sweet spot for muscle hypertrophy while allowing adequate recovery time between sessions. Focus on compound movements that engage multiple muscle groups simultaneously: squats or chair rises, deadlift variations or hip hinges, rowing movements, pressing exercises, and loaded carries. These exercises provide the greatest stimulus for overall muscle development while improving functional strength for daily activities. Perform each exercise with controlled form, aiming for an effort level of 7 to 9 on a 10-point scale, where the final 2 to 3 repetitions feel challenging but maintainable with good technique. Progressive overload remains the key driver of continued adaptation. Gradually increase resistance, repetitions, or exercise complexity every 2 to 3 weeks to continuously challenge your muscles. Even bodyweight exercises, resistance bands, or light dumbbells provide sufficient stimulus when applied progressively. The mechanical stress from resistance exercise increases muscle protein synthesis rates for 24 to 48 hours post-exercise, creating windows of enhanced anabolic sensitivity when your nutrition interventions become even more effective. Strategic supplementation can significantly amplify your integrated muscle building approach. Creatine monohydrate stands as the most researched and effective supplement for older adults, with 3 to 5 grams daily supporting increased strength, muscle mass, and even cognitive function. Creatine works synergistically with protein and resistance training by enhancing cellular energy production and supporting higher training intensities. Vitamin D deficiency affects up to 80% of adults over 60 and directly impairs muscle protein synthesis. Most individuals require 1,000 to 2,000 IU daily to achieve optimal blood levels of 30 to 50 ng/ml, though testing current levels guides precise dosing. Vitamin D supports both muscle function and calcium absorption, creating benefits for both muscle and bone health. Omega-3 fatty acids providing 1 to 2 grams of combined EPA and DHA daily help control chronic inflammation that can interfere with muscle protein synthesis while supporting overall muscle function and recovery. Magnesium supports both muscle contraction and relaxation while promoting sleep quality, with 200 to 400 milligrams daily benefiting most older adults. The integrated approach requires careful modification for common health conditions affecting older adults. Individuals with chronic kidney disease need personalized protein targets developed in consultation with healthcare providers to balance muscle preservation with kidney function protection. Generally, this involves monitoring protein intake more closely and potentially reducing total daily protein while maintaining the timing and distribution principles. Those managing diabetes benefit from coordinating bedtime protein timing with blood glucose monitoring and medication schedules. Choose unsweetened protein sources and consider including 10 to 15 grams of complex carbohydrates if needed to prevent overnight hypoglycemia, especially for those on insulin or sulfonylurea medications. Monitor individual blood glucose responses and adjust portions accordingly. Individuals with gastroesophageal reflux disease should extend the timing window to 60 to 90 minutes before lying down and favor thicker, more solid protein sources like cottage cheese over liquid shakes. Elevating the head of the bed and avoiding mint, citrus, or high fat additions near bedtime further reduces reflux risk. Quality sleep amplifies every aspect of your muscle building strategy by optimizing growth hormone release and muscle protein synthesis rates. Aim for consistent 7 to 9 hours of sleep with regular bedtimes that align with your natural circadian rhythm. Create an environment that supports deep sleep, cool temperatures, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, complete darkness, and minimal noise disruption. Establish a 30 to 60-minute wind down routine that signals your body to prepare for sleep. Reduce evening alcohol consumption, which disrupts sleep architecture and impairs growth hormone release. Morning light exposure helps reinforce healthy circadian rhythms that favor deeper, more anabolic sleep phases. Address common sleep disruptors in older adults, including sleep apnea, medication effects, and frequent urination. If nighttime bathroom trips are frequent, favor thicker protein options like cottage cheese over large volume protein shakes to minimize fluid intake while maintaining protein targets. Track meaningful metrics that reflect your integrated approach effectiveness. Strength progression in key exercises, functional measures like chair stands or stair climbing ability, grip strength measurements, and subjective factors like morning energy levels and exercise recovery. These indicators provide feedback on whether your integrated strategy is producing desired results. Adjust individual components based on recovery signals and progress markers. If strength gains plateau, consider increasing training volume or protein intake. If sleep quality declines, examine timing of your bedtime protein or evaluate other sleep hygiene factors. If digestive issues arise, modify protein sources or timing windows. Coordinate regularly with your healthcare provider, especially if you have kidney disease, complex medication regimens, or multiple health conditions. This integrated approach works most effectively when tailored to your individual health profile and monitored for both benefits and potential complications. The synergy between strategic nutrition timing, progressive resistance training, targeted supplementation, and optimized recovery creates a powerful system for rebuilding and maintaining muscle mass well into your later decades.